Okay, so now we're going to get into the third video, and this video is titled Stress Reduction and Management Tips. So to begin the video, we have to be able to define what stress is. And stress is defined as the body's reaction to a perceived threat. This can come in the form of emotional and physical tension. Stress is inevitable in people's lives. Everybody's going to have it at some point, and everybody does feel it differently. Some common features of stress are, a lot of people describe stress as feeling overwhelmed, like there's too much going on they can't keep up with. And other people can also describe it as feeling a lot of worry, not really sure what's going to happen. Another common thing that people describe how stress feels like is being able to calm down or relax. So when people are really stressed out, they feel like they can't do those things. And another thing is, like, when people are stressed out, a lot of people say like their mind's racing, meaning they can't shut their brain off. They're thinking about everything and everything that could go possibly wrong. And those are all different things that people describe stress as. So everybody knows that stress is something that maybe we should handle better, and that there are some negative reasons why. So stress can negatively affect the body in a couple different ways. The first one I could think of is with people who have a lot of stress, they have risk of high blood pressure, deal with upset stomach more often. They may break out in acne or other pimples. They might have difficulty sleeping at night. They might not eat, or they might binge eat. They might get chest pain. They may end up gaining weight. They could feel and look exhausted all the time. The last thing I could think of is that stress lowers your immune system. So the more stressed you are, the more likely you are to get sick. Oh, here we go. Back to the house. That was a good little afternoon walk to help relieve some stress. All right, so I made it back home, and I'm here to tell you now how physical activity can help you reduce your stress. So physical activity is good for stress because it gives your mind a much needed break from the stresses of life. You can kind of just forget about whatever it is you're stressing out about while you're being active. So for me, when I was younger and I played lacrosse, or when I played football or rugby, whatever sport I was playing at the time, that hour and a half of practice or game time was my little escape from the stresses that I had of being a high school student, and they can be for you too. Another thing is that exercise can help you just feel better mentally. So as we kind of talked about before, in the intellectual dimension of well-being and the emotional dimension of well-being, after you exercise, you're just going to be feeling better because your brain releases certain chemicals that help you feel good. So that break of feeling better is going to help you reduce stress as well. And it's just a positive way to relieve stress in general. So if you're ever feeling stressed out about something and you feel like you need to vent or take it out on something, then sport or exercise or any sort of physical activity is a very good positive way of coping with it. Now, what are some techniques how to reduce it? So I'm going to list off a bunch of different techniques, and then you can just take whatever you like. But the first thing I have is just having a positive attitude on life. So the more positive you feel, the better chance that you're going to have of being able to overcome any little negative stressor that comes over you. Another thing is to manage your time well and efficiently. So just making sure that if you are busy with school or something, not leaving like a test or an assignment till the very night before it's due, because if you do it little bits every day leading up to it, then you won't have as much to do and it won't be as stressful for you to get it all done. Another thing that you could try doing is learning how to meditate, or doing yoga or Tai Chi. Those are all different things that you could do to help you calm your mind down and release some stress. Another thing you can do is to try and just make sure you're getting enough rest and sleep. So this might sound a little counterintuitive, because if you're stressed out, you're going to want to get stuff done and not be restful, but giving yourself that mental break is definitely going to help you ensure that you are focused and you can tackle your problems with more clarity of mind. Another thing you can do is to know when to just say no to requests and when to prioritize yourself. So what this could be is, like, let's say you're working and you're stressed out over whatever things you have to do, and you get asked to cover someone's shift or to take on some of their work, but you're already stressed out with your own. Just knowing when to say no, saying no, I can't do that, or no, I can't babysit tonight because I still have to still have to do my assignment or study for a test. So just prioritizing yourself and knowing when to say no to people's requests is going to help. You can exercise regularly, which we've already discussed in quite great detail. And you can also make time for your interests and hobbies. And the last thing you can do is just to realize what is and is not within your control. So don't stress out over things that you can't control. If you are driving to school, train going over the train tracks, and now you're going to be late, there's no sense in you freaking out and screaming in your car because you're going to be late and then being stressed out about it. You couldn't control that train was coming, so it's not something that you should be worried about. You just need to worry and stress about things that are within your own control. And then if you don't stress out over the things that aren't in your control, then you will just have a lot less stress overall in life. That's the end of this video, and then we will get to the next one after this.